Hello y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're getting on a serial killer. Do you guys want to know what the serial killer is? Do you? Do you? The Zodiac killer. Now, the Zodiac killer, it's one of those cases where never got solved, never got caught, never got identified really. And this case is so like interesting to me because like it's kind of like he killed these people and kind of like disappeared into thin air. Never got caught, never anything. Like he could still be out there. And what's crazy about it is even to this day, people will call and report that they seen this Zodiac killer and things like that. Now with the Zodiac killer, there are drawings of him, but still he never got identified. He never got caught. So, and that's what's crazy to me. And I have this criminal book that I put all my research in, and I have 1, 2, if I can turn the page, 3, like 5 pages of just information about the Zodiac killer. And also, I have information on my cellular device about him, okay? It's just, yeah. So, the Zodiac killer is one of the most infamous, unidentified serial killers in American history, okay? And then I'm going to kind of like break down everything. So, the Zodiac is believed to have murdered at least 5 people in the Northern California between 1968 and 1969. Though he claimed that he had killed 37 people or more in his letters. So we'll get more into like the letters and stuff like that. Confirmed victims include couples and lone individuals, usually in remote or rural areas. Some survived this attack. I think 1 or 2 people survived this. Yeah, 2 people survived the attack from the Zodiac killer. So, what set the Zodiac apart with his communications with the press, he sent letters, okay, to newspapers in San Francisco and surrounding areas, demanding that they publish his letters, or he was going to do stuff. Like he threatened, if you don't publish my letters, I'm going to kill so many people and things like that. And it says that in 2022, a team of code breakers cracked a 340 character code, which mocked police but gave no clear identifier. So in these letters, he would send these codes, and pretty much you have to solve them to see what they said. So for investigation, police investigated hundreds of suspects. The most well known was Arthur Allen, but no evidence was ever linked to him. DNA testing on letters and envelopes over the years hasn't preceded a confirmed match. And to me, that is crazy. Okay? I mean, I get it. It's in the 1970s and 80s, and they still could not confirm anything. The Zodiac case has inspired countless books, documentaries, movies, all that sort. He identifies remains unknown and keeping the mystery alive, even till this day. So here's all the confirmed attacks. So December the 20th, 1968, Lake Harmon Road. Victims, I'm not going to say the last name. I don't want to butcher anybody's name. David and Betty Lou Jensen both were shot while parked in a car on a remote road. This is considered the Zodiac's first confirmed murder. In July the 4th, 1969, at the Blue Rock Springs Park in California, victims Darlene and Michael. Darlene was 22 and Michael was 19. Darlene was killed and Michael survived the multiple gunshot wounds. So, both shootings, the first couple died. They were 16 and 17. And then Darlene and Michael, only Michael survived. Okay? The killer called the police afterwards to report the crime in a calmly response. In September 27th, 1969, at a lake in California, victims Cecily, I believe, and Brian. Cecily was 22 and Brian was 20. The attacker wore a hooded costume with a zodiac symbol. Cecily died of stab wounds. The killer left a message on the car door with dates of previous murders. I'm sorry, but it's also so interesting to me that this killer has no, doesn't have, a pattern, of course, any type of pattern. In October 11th, 1969, in San Francisco, California, victim Paul, a cab driver, was shot in his taxi. Killer took the wallet and tore parts of his shirt. Okay? The Zodiac letter mailed a piece of Paul's shirt with a letter proving that he was responsible for the murder. So all these victims, okay, only 2 survived. And it's they have a drawing of this killer, okay? And you're telling me that this killer's still on the run? Okay. So here comes the letters. So the first letter was August the 1st, 1969. It was sent to San Francisco. Look, I butcher stuff, so don't mind me. To newspapers and to the people that print out the newspapers and print out the news and stuff. Each included one third of the 408 symbols demanding that they should be published. He's up to something. So these symbols were solved by a school teacher and his wife, revealing a chilling message about killing for fun. Okay? For fun. August 7th, 1969, it says, "Dear Editor," letter. First time he used the name Zodiac. So the second letter it says, "Dear Editor," okay? And it's the first time that he used the Zodiac. October 13th, 1969. This was Paul's murder letter, including a piece of the bloody shirt. Sick, I know. Just sick. November through December 1969, more letters and threats to attack school buses, and a 340 symbol was unsolved until 2020. 1969 till 2020. In 2020, they finally unsolved this symbol thing that they got of this symbol, these symbols, and you figure out and to see what it says. Yeah. 1970 and 1974, letters continued, some with symbols, others mocking police and referencing movies. Weird. weird. Okay, these letters, okay? So a lot of people think that the Zodiac killer is a myth. And I don't know what I believe, okay? Because you have these murders and you have these attacks that happen, and you're telling me there's really no motive behind it. There's no patterns, really. He doesn't use the same patterns. I guess like he does like whatever he feels like doing. And they don't really sound planned either. And a part of me thinks that like maybe these letters came from someone else and they just wanted attention, or maybe it really did come from the Zodiac killer. Was there even a Zodiac killer to begin with? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the Zodiac claimed many more victims, but most have never been verified. A few later murders have been debated, but no proof connects them to the Zodiac killer. The Zodiac investigation officially remains open in several counties and with the FBI. His letters, especially the symbol letters, continued, and professionals are still looking at these letters even till this day. And it says that what the Zodiac really like targeted against, and it says that he targeted against young couples, often while they sat in cars, weapons, handgun, then knife. Unlike many serial killers, he sometimes contacted the police himself to report the crimes. So back in the day, you couldn't like kind of like report where this calls come from. I'm guessing not. And it says he wore a black hood with these Zodiac's crosshair symbols during all of his attacks, which is weird. Okay. So it says that the suspects, so there has been so many suspects with this crime, okay, with this case and stuff. And this one guy was like really a main suspect because he was an ex-husband of Darlene. Yes, Darlene. And at the time, she was still living with him, but she was working to save up to get a divorce, okay? And Michael, one of the ones that survived, she went, I want to say it was a date. You can't tell me it was not a date when you're parking somewhere alone in the dark and y'all just sitting in the car. Yeah. I mean, she was trying to get divorced, so I guess she was kind of like single in that time. But her ex-husband, he beat on her and things like that, and he was really mean to her. And a lot of people say that he's the main suspect just because how controlling he was, how abusive he was. And then he found out that she was going on a date with someone that she worked with. And it makes sense. Do not get me wrong. It makes sense that the ex-husband would do that. And even to this day, he's like a prime suspect. And I have watched this video. And this guy that was studying the case and was making videos on all these suspects and things like that. He went to this guy's house, Arthur Allen. We'll call him Allen. That's his last name. He went to Allen's house, and he said that some of the things that Allen said, like, is right on, like, top of the head. Like, okay, you did it. Until this day, they really don't have any evidence that he actually did it, which is crazy. So, more like the culture impact, the Zodiac case inspired movies, documentaries. He's often compared to Jack the Ripper for leaving taunted letters and remaining unidentified. It says he became a symbol of unresolved true crime, inspiring communities and stuff. Why he was different, it says, unlike most killers, Zodiac wanted media attention. Yeah, I can see that. Used fear as a weapon. His threats to shoot school buses created widespread panic. Still unsolved. The DNA testing, their handwriting, all that is still unknown. The handwriting, the DNA, all that, it's still like just bizarre to me. And it's so Betty and David, the first two that was killed in the car. So how it happened is that when he was firing into the car, Betty had gotten out and started running, okay? And he shot her 5 times in the back. And then he brought David around and shot him in the back of his head, like kind of like behind his ear. And a lot of people, there's so many stories on how this happened. One story says that there was only one shooter, and then someone else said that no, there was 2 shooters, because why would he, when they parked, so here's the car and here's the Zodiac car. They say that he got out, shot, and then went around his car to shoot at the car again, which to me doesn't make sense at all. Like, why would he go further away to kill these people? And there's so many theories out there about how these killings happened. And the Zodiac, you know, he claimed to kill like 37 people, but there's only 5 that they have really evidence on. And I really think that maybe he killed more than what he said. But also, like, I feel like he maybe was just saying that for attention, like how a lot of people has been saying. And I feel like maybe he said 35 to get more of a reaction out of people and out of the police and things like that. I do feel like the Zodiac killer was real. I think this person might, like, definitely was, like, mentally unstable if he was just doing this for fun. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be mentally, mental to, like, go out and have killing sprees, you know? I'm just saying, like, he didn't have no reason behind it. He didn't have this trauma that led him to do this. At least that's what it seems like. You know, no one's ever met him. No one's ever caught him to get that answer, but that's how I really feel. So the Zodiac, after all this, the Zodiac disappears as suddenly as he appeared. That's what they say. His last confirmed letter arrived in 1974. Since then, the trail has gone cold, but the legend has only grown. He has become a ghost in American culture, inspiring books, films, countless theories, like Jack the Ripper before him. The Zodiac remains an unsolved shadow, a riddle that may never be answered. So, a part of me thinks, like, part of me still feels like he maybe had died, or maybe he got the fame that he wanted. I definitely feel like this was a real person going off like a killing spree. And like, I looked up some like more information about him. And I wanted to share, like, so all the letters were named. So the first letter, it was July 31st, 1969. It was named, I am the killer of the 2 teenagers last Christmas. The second letter was August the 4th, 1969. This is the zodiac speaking. Third letter, October 13th, 1969. I am the murderer of the taxi driver, which was Paul. November 8th, 1969, fourth letter, the dripping pen. I thought you would need a good laugh. Fifth letter, November 9th, 1969. I have killed 7 people. Sixth letter, December 20th, 1969. Happy Christmas. The 7th letter, April the 20th, 1970. My name is. The 8th letter, April the 28th, 1970. I hope you enjoy yourselves. The 10th letter was July the 24th, 1970. I am rather unhappy. The 11th letter, July the 26th, 1970. Being that you will not wear some nice buttons. The 12th letter, October the 5th, 1970. 13-hole punch card, you'll hate me. Okay. 13th letter, October 27th, 1970. Did I skip one? I might have. From your secret pal. 14th letter, I am crack proof. And then the 15th letter, the exorcist letter. Yeah. So the last letter was in 1974. And some of these names, like I am very upset. I'm rather unhappy. I hope you enjoy yourselves. From your secret. I just feel like this guy was mentally ill. Like 100%. So more about the victims. So David and okay, so my camera cut off for some reason. But back to what I was saying. Betty Jensen and David. So David had picked up Betty, and the couple visited a friends of David sometime after 9 o'clock. They drove to the outskirts and parked at the Lake Herman Road, just inside the city limits. Between 10:15 and 10:30, a passing motorcycle noticed a couple parked on a gravel runoff near the gate to the water pumping station. They were stopped again at 11 p.m. Between 11:05 and 11:10, that's when they were attacked. Police determined that their parked vehicles was about 10 feet apart from each other, theirs and the Zodiac killer. He fired several shots at David's car as he walked around the driver's side. None of the shots hit David or Miss Jensen, Betty. But then the couple scrambled to get out through the passenger door. Betty succeeded as David was not. He did not succeed. Unfortunately, he did not. So the killer shot him in the head with a .22 caliber pistol. Then chased Betty as she fled, firing 6 shots at her back. Only one missed. Police theorized the whole attack took 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah. It says at 11:10, a car spotted the couple's bodies and alerted police. Betty was dead. Freddie was still breathing, but he died on the way to the hospital. There was no witnesses. There was no tire or footprints. The only motive the police could say was it was a madman wanting to kill. See, back in the day, you didn't have all the technology that we have today. When you could, I mean, it's so easy to identify someone now with the technology that we have. So, I mean, it is hard. I mean, back in the day, you really had to search and to think and to investigate when people were killed. So the Blue Rock Springs murder, this was Darlene and Michael. So they were shot shortly after midnight on July the 4th, 1969. Darlene was popular due to her job at the local restaurant where she met Michael. This is the one I was telling you about that had an ex-husband, and they thought that it was him. So this was another lover's lane located just 2 miles from Lake Herman Road. They were parked or stalled for 70 feet from the lot entrance. Another vehicle parked about 80 feet to their left. The driver turned his headlights off and sat motionless. Michael asked who the driver was, and Darlene told him not to worry. The stranger tore away from the parked car. So, like, it was, like, he came, and I feel like he came and, like, watched them and then left, but then came back. I don't know. 5 minutes later, the stranger returned, parked a few feet next to Michael's side of the car, and got out. He shone a flashlight into the car as he approached. Assuming he was a police officer, the couple rolled down Michael's window without speaking. The stranger fired a 9mm pistol into the car. One bullet hit Michael in the right arm, and the other hit Darlene in the neck. Michael tried to leave the car, but his door handle was missing or removed. That's weird. Is that not weird? Okay, anyways. The stranger returned to his car, opened the door, and did something Michael could not see. As Michael struggled to exit the vehicle, the stranger shot him and Darlene 2 more times each. The killer hurried into his car and drove off. A golf course caretaker heard the shots around 12:10 a.m. Left no clues that could be tracked back to him. Yeah, that's just crazy. So then it says 3 teenagers drove into the parking lot, saw the wounded people, and got help. Police arrived around 12:20 a.m. 20 minutes later, Darlene was pronounced dead at the hospital, and Michael survived and tried to describe the attacker as heavy-set white man around 5'8" tall. He estimated the weight was about 195 to 200 pounds with a large face and curly light brown hair. The killer wore dark clothes and no glasses. The details was not enough to develop a suspect. Moments after 12:40, the police department, VPD, received a phone call from a payphone 2 blocks from headquarters. The man on the other end said, "I want to report a double murder. If you go 1 mile east on Columbia's Parkway to the public park, you will find kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm. I also killed those kids last year. Goodbye." What? So, like, he's like playing like cats and dogs, I feel like. No, I don't know if y'all feel like that, but I feel like he's taunting, okay? He's being he's trying to taunt these police officers, and it's just a game to him. Like, ha ha ha, I killed these people. Go and find them. And I feel like maybe he wanted to get caught in a way, and maybe he didn't. I'm just so, like, my head cannot wrap around this Zodiac killer. Like, it's just crazy that he didn't really have a motive behind it. It's crazy that he didn't have any reasons to do it. He was just doing it for fun. And like he said in the letters, he was just doing it for fun. Since when was killing people fun? Yeah. So it says the serial killers will commonly pause to reflect on their actions. Not the Zodiac. No, he didn't have to think. He didn't have to think about any of these people that he just killed. He was just doing it for fun. And I will post the letters that I can find on here so you guys can look at them. It's kind of hard to read them because the handwriting's just so sloppy. Sorry. So the other couple, Brian and Cecily, I think that's her name, but if not, please do not, don't say nothing. So these couples, they were picnicking at a lake on a small island connected by a sand spit to Twin Oak Ridge. Sometime later, Cecily noticed a man watching them when he was sneak peeking behind a tree. Like, he was watching them. Like, creepy. Okay. Then it says he put on a black hood with clip-on sunglasses. He wore a bib with a white 3x3 zodiac symbol on it. And I will post what the zodiac symbol looks like. Then he pulled out a gun. Okay. Which was believed as a .45. The Zodiac said he escaped from jail after killing a guard and needed their car and money to travel to Mexico. I'm sorry, but if you need a car or if you're just trying to make up something because you need something, why would you say you just escaped from jail? Anyways, so before trying up Cecily, the Zodiac made Cecily bend Brian with pre-cut lengths of plastic clothesline. He tightened Brian's bonds because Cecily knots were too loose. So pretty much he made her tie Brian up. Which is crazy. Brian still believed they were being robbed. When the Zodiac drew a knife and stabbed him, Brian suffered 6 wounds and Cecily 10. So he used the knife this time, okay? It says the Zodiac hiked 500 yards to Knoxville Road, leaving several footprints for investigators to study. The killer drew the Zodiac symbol on Brian's car door with a black felt tip pen and wrote beneath it 12/20/68, 7/4/69, September 27/69, 6:30 by knife. And I will also, there's a picture of on here, and I will also put it on here for you guys. So it's so crazy because, like, again, it kind of feels like he wants to be caught. So, of course, you know, she survived and she drew out this drawing of apparently this Zodiac killer, which looks nothing like the first drawing that was made. Okay, by Michael. Nothing. And I'll put them side by side. So It's so crazy because I've read all this and I've done so many research, so much research on this, and it's like not a lot to it, okay? It's really not a lot to it. But it's just so interesting because this person never got killed, and then he would send these symbols that police would have to try to figure out what it said. Like, it's just a game. Honestly, it's just a game to this person, and there's so many people, like, I've read that even till this day that people are calling the police and saying how they might see the Zodiac killer, or like still making like reports about this Zodiac killer, okay? And it also says that when this happened, there were so many suspects that it was like over like 1,000 suspects, and it just, and the motive, like, there's no motive behind it, like, and this person is like wanted since 1968. Like, is this person still alive, or is he dead? Or was this even like real? Or was these attacks by just different random people? Like, you don't really know. I want to know what y'all think, and if y'all think that the Zodiac killer is real, or if you just think that it was just random people killing random people. Like, I want to know what y'all think and what y'all thoughts about the Zodiac killer. It's just crazy. It's such a mystery, and I think that's why I like it. I mean, he killed 5 people and 2 people survived. Like, I just want to know why they couldn't catch this guy. I mean, was it even one guy? That's the thing. Like, are all these, you know, killings by the same person? And to me, like, it seems like it's by different people. It also seems like the letters were not from, like, these people that killed these people, or this guy that killed these people. And, like, the 2 drawings that they have, the 2 drawings do not look alike at all. So that's why I feel like it was, like, not just one person. I want to know what y'all think. Y'all comment under my videos, under this video, and tell me what your thoughts and opinions are about this, because I'm just so, like, mind blown by this. Like I said, it's this case, it's serious, but, like, this is as serious you can get with this case. Nobody got caught or nothing. And I mean, there's not a lot of information to this case, only because, like, there's no evidence, there's no, you know, there's really nothing that you can base this off of. Like, hey, I'm just the girl that likes criminal stuff, and I'm just the girl that wants to, you know, talk about these criminal stories with you guys. And I'm gonna try to do better at, like, more explaining stuff and, like, making, you know, everything's in order. I just get so excited when I start researching these people that's committed these awful crimes, and I just get so wrapped up in it. And I kind of try to, like, put myself, like, when it happened, like, put myself there, and kind of I kind of try to see, like, both sides of the picture. No, killing is not okay. Killing people is not okay, okay? If you want to kill somebody, you need to go see a doctor. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me, and I don't know how someone can live after they kill somebody, you know, like, live with themselves. But, you know, That's why they say when you kill somebody, you're mentally unstable, and you definitely are mentally unstable when you just want to go and kill for fun. Okay, if you guys want to kill for fun, make sure y'all go to your nearest, and I mean nearest, insane institution. Okay. Yeah. That's all I can say about that. If you want to kill somebody, just head on over to your psych ward, okay? But yes, so this is definitely, like, I love doing these criminal things, like criminal stories. And if you guys like it, make sure y'all comment, like, subscribe. I'm definitely going to be doing more. I'm actually on another person that didn't really get a lot of spotlight. It didn't get a lot of spotlight, what he did. But I find it interesting. And you guys might not even heard of him just because he's not really known for, you know, known in a lot of places. Nor did he get the spotlight how some of these famous serial killers have. So that will be next week. My next video will be a vlog video because I am going to the beach. Yeah, so make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me what you guys think about the Zodiac Killer. Do y'all think it's real, fake? I mean, your opinions would be the best. And I would love to read them. Thank y'all for watching.